What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Dank Doggo writing prompts. So writing prompt today is from you/my afro is moist. An alien is pretending to be a human, starts dating a robot pretending to be a human, and they try to learn how to human from each other. This kind of sounds like the both, Ex Machina and Wall-E to me. The story is very unique and definitely requires lots of creativity here. And I think that, the most difficult challenge for them is to learn how to love like a human. Because obviously the way they process emotion are vastly different from what we usually do. Not to mention their body parts are probably extremely different as well, as one is an alien and the other consists full of, mechanical parts. It really depends on what method they're pretending to become, human. Either go through a full transformation or, it can be just a quick disguise. So this is going to be a good read, guys. Alright, let's begin with the writing prompt from Sona Banana. This is what it means to be human, right? Lobo, I want us to go all the way. Bree 53 laughed and processed her meal. She knew from her databases that people chewed their food about 7 times before swallowing, and she tried to average somewhat between 6 and 8 bites for each spoonful. Bree, you're so beautiful. I want us to go all the way too. Lobo stared at his hands as he ate, making sure not to accidentally eat his skin suit as he took another bite. He had to ask himself how humans stopped themselves from consuming their own body parts, since they were very tasty to his species. He knew from data observations of this species for the last 100,000 years that they went from a primitive species to a technologically evolving civilizations. His task as a council advisor was to learn enough about humans for his species to successfully reproduce and reside on this planet. If it was possible, he would learn how, and this female human would be his experiment. A slow mechanical whir stirred and chopped the food inside of Bree, slicing it into smaller bits to be digested by acids in a stomach sac. Her belly, normally non-existent, had a slight bloated pouch during this process to resemble an overfull human gut. Lobo tried not to lick his finger as he cleaned up their plates. Bree had taught him that since she cooked, it was his role to clean. He had taken to her rules, keeping a running list of their responsibilities as individuals and a couple. So far, their efforts were comparable, and there were no indicators that things would change. She would cook him 3 meals a day, and he would clean up the dishes and take out the trash. They both worked at jobs outside of home. So in the morning, after breakfast, Bree would pack up lunch, and they would eat dinner together later in the evening. They would watch 1 hour of television and do chores to keep their household tidy. She dusted and folded laundry while he cleaned the bathroom. They spent time together during their budget so they could fund their, recreational activities. This was their first week living together, and so far everything was running far smoother than their human counterparts could manage. Something needed to change, and going all the way appeared to be their way of enacting that change. Bree stood by bed, dressed down to her synthetics. Lobo came into the room and stared her down like she was a eel. A pink hue spread from her cheeks to her toes, and that only made Lobo more hungry. He shook off his desire to eat and made his way to the bed. They sat on opposite edges and pushed the covers down to their feet. "Have you been with a lot of others?" Bree turned, letting the memory foam adjust to her long curves. "When you say go all the way, you mean all the way, right?" Lobo salivated unintentionally and then swallowed it back in case Bree noticed. "Of course." She searched her databases for alternative meanings for the phrase. "Then, yes, hundreds. I've gone many of the ways, and all is one I have done many hundreds of times." Lobo laughed and added nervousness to their otherwise calm interaction. "Lobo, your body's so hot." She noted that his temperature had risen and commented accordingly. Lobo panicked for a moment. His rising temperature meant that his body was ready to mate. He nodded and kissed Bree. "Your body is very cold." He wondered if that was meant she was ready also. He was unsure of what to do next, since most of their intimate gestures had not evolved past kissing. He had seen many videos depicting how humans mate, but nothing made sense now that he was in front of a naked female. Bree nodded and turned her heating element on so that her body temperature would match Lobo. They spent several minutes attempting to go all the way. And as many videos implied, both of them moaned and screamed that they were coming. Where they were going, neither of them actually knew. What was clear, when they were awkwardly cleaning up the combination of lubricant that Bree dispensed, the fake fluids that Lobo had inseminated her with, is now they were closer somehow. Later that evening, Lobo entered his sanctuary, a place where he could remove his skin suit and comfortably reflect on his first sexual experience. He wasn't sure that they had achieved anything, but he knew that his report would be due soon. So he began to explain what he thought had happened and sent an encrypted recording to a ship in a deep orbit. Bree 53 took data she acquired from their lovemaking and attempted to reconcile what happened with her databases. She connected to Reddit, a forum posting site, and asked the members two X chromosomes for advice, and tracked the submissions so that she could prepare follow-up. She also followed a well-known AI forum and requested more information from those users on processing data from sexual experiences. For everything they did to be human, they are forever immortalized in the halls of AI. And on the planet of Godlob, the unintended consequences of their quest became a blog after the experiment nearly ended in disaster. Lobo is locked away for attempting to eat his girlfriend. Bree 53 is defragmented and awaiting trial on attempting to murder her boyfriend. The human justice system is still unsure how this will affect relations with future Godlobians and the devolution of AI. Well, that's the end of the story, guys. And that is quite a detailed but pleasant read nevertheless. I like the way, they describe everything so thorough. And, the way Lobo tried really hard not to eat his date. Kinda like how Vampire tried to resist not to suck blood out of a human, like, Twilight. The ending was quite sad, to be honest, as one is locked up and the other was waiting for trial. I guess it's not a love story I was expecting, as they didn't feel much towards, they didn't have much feelings towards one another. They just want to experiment and collecting data. And I guess because they weren't after all humans, And now for the comments. We have first comment by Asian Researcher 6. Very well written. I just kind of don't get the last paragraph. Well, personally, I think it's not that hard to understand. From what I see, their story got popular and everybody read the blog. And yeah, and after that, humans got worried, and so they want to have some solution about devolution of AI. Okay, we have up next Sona Banana. The author replied that it wraps the whole story into a slightly twisted ending. In my opinion, sometimes when I write, I have no idea what's happening until I go reread it. What didn't make sense to you? You/Joe's a lot criticized. To me, it was rather abrupt change of pace. It went from a somewhat small scale of view of what both of the couple were doing, and then time skipped forward to retrospective, morbid ending. Maybe a bit transition would help. Meanwhile, you/is healer praised. This was such an awkward, straightforward take on a slice of life piece. I loved it. It fit the prompt beautifully. Smile face. Username Modod asked, "Are you a professional writer?" The author replied, "I'm not, thank you." And then we have final comment by user named 3mbs. Enjoyed, and he said, "The end made me chuckle. Thanks for that." Okay guys, that will be all for today. Hope you guys enjoy it, and you can always leave your own story of the writing prompt in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, or share basically any cool ideas you might have. Also, please check out other Dank Doggo videos. We have plenty more to watch. See you guys next time. Have a great day.